Hello, I am Stan Harder and welcome to the Hospice Aide Processes. This session is designed for the hospice aides. Let's get started by discussing our objectives.
By attending this class, you will be able to understand the hospice aide assignment and hospice aide visit forms, review my schedule and patient schedule to confirm visit assignments, document visit information, submit visit documentation to the office, document visits that involve assists, correct visit documentation as necessary, and document missed visits. Let's start with reviewing your main menu. You will find a list of your patients in the drop-down menu in the My Patient section. There are also links to the patient chart as well as to the My Schedule and Patient Schedule. Below, in the My Form section, are blank forms that you will select to begin documenting your visit. The link for the Visit Fax Report is also available. The Visit Fax Report is used to fax a copy of your visit note if required. At the lower section of your screen are the Forms folders. Here you can find forms that may have been sent back to you for correction or pending forms that you have started but haven't sent to the office yet. Now that you're familiar with your main menu, let's start your day. First, you will need to identify the visits that you're assigned to perform. To view what visits you have for the day, week, or even month, you will tap on the My Schedule link at the top of your main menu. The My Schedule screen will appear and display the visits on a calendar. This is your schedule for the current month. On the top left is a filter. In the middle of the top section is a legend that describes things you see on your calendar. Your patients' names are listed down the left side of the screen. The scheduled visits appear as boxes on the calendar. Boxes that are filled in with color mean the visit has already been done. If the box is all white, this means the visit hasn't been done yet or has not been documented in the hospice system. The hospice protocol is for the PCS to set the schedule for the hospice aide with oversight by the MCP. You can view the patient schedule by tapping on the patient's name in the My Schedule screen or from the main menu by tapping Patient Schedule link. In the patient schedule screen, you see the frequency and duration that has been assigned for disciplines at the top right of the screen. The calendar is an entire benefit period and not just a month like we saw on the employee screen. All the disciplines that are scheduled to the patient are listed down the left side in the user column. If in the user column you don't see an aide's name for one of the visits and instead you see the words discipline-HA, this means the visit has not been assigned to anyone. This unassigned visit will appear on the schedule for all of the hospice aides caring for the patient. To avoid having two aides perform the same visit, call the office and ask them to assign the visit to someone. Before we look at how to do a visit note, let's first take a look at a very important form you will need to become familiar with. In the hospice system, this form is the hospice aide assignment form. It is found in the patient's chart. This is the form that the nurse uses to establish your tasks for taking care of the patient. The nurse will check which tasks are needed for the patient, how much assist is needed, and the frequency of each task. The RN can assign times 1 person assist or times 2 person assist. It shows up on this form as of 1 and of 2. For some tasks, like the bath and shower, the RN may assign the task as once a week and the other task is twice a week. The nurse would check both tasks and write the specific days and the frequency, so use caution in watching your frequency box to know when a specific task is due. You will not have the ability to make any changes to this form. If there's not one listed in the patient's chart, then contact your office as you will not be able to provide care for the patient with your visit note without one of these being filled out. There have been changes to your visit note form, so before we go look at the electronic version, let's review the paper version. We will also look at the red sheet that has been developed for you to guide you in your documentation. The office has access to the red sheets online and can print them off for you if needed. The red sheet provides instruction on how to appropriately fill out the form. Though the paper and electronic forms are very similar, there will be some differences in order for the form to work correctly. You'll notice some additions like vital signs. Remember, unless tasks are assigned, you do not do those tasks. The hospice aide assignment form completed by the nurse auto-populates your hospice aide visit note. You'll be able to see your assigned task and frequency next to where you check that the care was performed and document your notes. If the nurse updates the hospice aide assignment form, the changes flow forward to your next visit note automatically. Let's discuss how to fill out the electronic form. First, search for the patient in your drop-down list, then click on the hospice aide visit note. You will see the timesheet portion at the top. This was discussed in the field overview class, but we'll review it here again. Enter the travel time start and stop times and the visit start time. You'll populate the visit stop day and time at the end of your visit. Just a reminder, you should not use the 15-minute increment times that show in the pop-up list when you select the time boxes, unless, of course, the actual time is at a 15-minute increment level. Instead, you will tap on the word type and use your keyboard to type in the correct times. As you review your visit note, you will see the tasks to be performed. They are indicated on your form with a check mark in the Assign column. Review the frequency column to understand the designated frequency of that task. After performing the task, tap the box in the Care Performed column to indicate it has been completed. A Notes column is available to enter any pertinent notes regarding that task if needed. If you are unable to complete a task, do not check the Care Performed box. Instead, you will enter a comment in the Notes box on that same line. For instance, you may input Patient Refused if the patient refused the task. There are 2 pages to this form. Make sure you complete both pages of the form. Keep in mind, you are not to perform a task if it is not marked as assigned on the form. If there are any patient changes that need to be reported from your visit, enter them at the bottom of the form in the Notes area. When you have finished your visit, put the stop date and time on the timesheet portion on the top of page 1. To obtain the patient's signature, tap in the center of the signature box. The small box will then expand. The patient will sign in the expanded box. After the patient signs, tap Accept Signature, then immediately go to the bottom of the screen and tap Save. Saving will lock down the signature on the form and give the signature box a date and time stamp. There may be rare times where you are unable to obtain the patient's signature. We'll discuss the process of handling that in just a bit. Once your document is complete, the form is ready to be sent to the office. At the bottom of the form, click on the Send to Office button. You will be asked if you want to send with signature or send without signature. The default is to send with signature. Click Yes, and the form is now with the office. Let's cover how to obtain a written signature in the event you are unable to get the patient to sign electronically. A form titled Patient Visit Signature is available with your office. You will keep a few hard copies of this form with you for this scenario. Complete the paper form when necessary and return the form to the office for upload to the hospice system. Once the document is uploaded, it will be attached to the visit and a paperclip will appear representing the attached document. From time to time, you may need to assist another hospice aide during a visit. In this circumstance, one hospice aide would be considered the primary and the other secondary. Here's how you would document the visit with an assist. The primary hospice aide documents on the hospice aide visit note that we covered earlier. The secondary hospice aide documents on an interdisciplinary hospice communication note and uses the paper time tracking log for the time slip. To attach an interdisciplinary hospice communication note, first select your patient, then select Interdisciplinary Hospice Communication. Once it's attached, select the Interdisciplinary Hospice Communication Other option. Then select Create. In the Interdisciplinary Hospice Communication form, find the Type of Contact section. Select a reason for the visit. In the text box, type Assist Hospice Aide Visit. Type the visit information in the Notes section. Once you have completed your documentation, the form can then be sent to the office. Now let's cover how to correct forms. When visit notes are sent to the office, they will be processed for review and billing. If there are errors or missing information on the form, The office will send it back to you for corrections. The form will display in your To Be Corrected folder. Click on the blue arrow beside the form to open it. Look for the page number that is encased in a red square. It will also have the Notes link highlighted in yellow. Click on the Notes link to review the note about the correction. In this example, it states that the hospice aide needs to finish page 2. Use the Add Note button to reply to the original note as needed. Close the note box by selecting the X in the upper right-hand corner. Next, make any necessary changes to the document. For our example, the aide would go to page 2 and complete the information. At the bottom of the form, the aide would then send to the office after making corrections. The aide will be prompted to complete with signature or not. Because changes were made to the form to correct it, completing with signature would be the correct response. Select OK with Complete with Signature selected. There will be occasional times that you will not see your patient as planned. For example, the visit may be missed because the patient was unavailable or the patient refused the visit. When a visit is missed, you will need to create a missed visit note. On the main menu, you would select your patient from the drop-down list just as you would for a visit note. Next, choose the Missed Visit Note form and complete it. You will need to mark the type of visit that was missed, put the correct date in the Date Visit Missed box, then document the reason the visit was missed. Enter the name and title of the person you notified in the office regarding the missed visit and the date you notified them. Lastly, send the form to the office just as you would a regular visit note. Let's review the My Reports section on the main menu. The Visit Fax Report allows you to fax a copy of your note directly from the device. A common example of this would be to fax a nursing home a copy of your visit note. To begin the faxing process, click on the Visit Fax Report link. It will take you to the Visit Fax Report. Filters appear at the top of the report. Ensure your name appears on the user drop-down field. Additional fields are available to narrow your search criteria if needed. Once your filters are set, click on the Go button. Your forms will appear at the bottom. Find the form you need to fax and click the box in the Select an Action column. Next, click the drop-down arrow in the header column labeled Select an Action and choose the Send To option. A Sends option box appears and the Fax To option defaults to the choice of the physician selected on the form. Choose the This Fax Number option and enter the number for the facility you want to fax to. Click Next. A Fax To prompt will appear. Verify that the fax number is correct and then click the Fax button. An electronic fax cover sheet and your note are then placed in the queue to be faxed. Once you click on the Fax button, the screen will refresh and take you back to the Visit Fax Report. A Fax Pending mark will appear for the document that you just faxed. If the fax completes successfully, a fax mark will appear. In the event the fax fails, a Faxed Failed mark will appear. Keep in mind the system will attempt to fax the form 5 times before applying a Fax Failed mark. You should reference your Visit Fax Report option to make sure your faxes have gone through successfully. As we wrap up our Hospice Aide class, let's review what was covered. We reviewed My Schedule and Patient Schedule to confirm visit assignments. We discussed how to document visit information. We discussed how to submit visit documentation to the office, how to document and assist visit, and how to correct visit documentation as necessary. We covered documenting missed visits, and we discussed the process for faxing a note to a facility from the device. We also discussed the Hospice Aide assignment form and how it populates the Hospice Aide visit note.
That concludes this training session. Thank you for participating, and we hope you found this session informative and helpful as we collaborate together to deliver uncompromising care. Thank you.